What is up, guys? Heath of Lake Champlain Sanitation here, and on today's video we are going to be talking about a comparison between the roll-off dumpster trailer and the Hooklift truck. We're also going to put the roll-off truck in with the Hooklift truck. Basically, should you start out with a pickup truck and trailer, or should you start out with a truck if you're getting into the dumpster rental business? And this goes for the junk removal business as well. We have used our equipment for both sides of the business since day one. So for you guys out there that are doing junk removal and you're thinking about going Hooklift or roll-off trailer to make some side money, or vice versa, this video could come in handy for you guys too. If this is your first time tuning into the channel, guys, we try to make these videos quite a bit, give you guys some help in the waste removal industry, junk removal, and dumpster rental business industry. If you like this content, be sure to like and subscribe below. Really helps the YouTube algorithm, guys, and we're really trying to grow this channel to help as many people in the country as we can. So without further ado, we're going to head over to the office, throw some pros and cons up on the whiteboard, and talk to you guys about the pros and cons versus a roll-off dumpster trailer or a Hooklift / roll-off truck when you're just starting out. Alrighty, guys, we are back to the whiteboard for another pros and cons discussion. Like we said, we have our trailer on this side, we have our truck on this side. This is going to be a roll-off trailer, this is going to be a roll-off or Hooklift truck. We're going to jump right into it. First thing, big elephant in the room for all you guys that know, that have been looking into this industry, the cost of a roll-off trailer, be it that it's still pretty high, is going to be much less than a roll-off or Hooklift truck. That being said, if you are going right into this business for the first time and you already have a 2,500 or 3,500 pickup truck, you're going to be much further ahead than someone that needs to buy both pieces of equipment. An example of a price on something like this, back when I started, it was much less. You could get into a one dumpster and trailer for 13 to 15 grand. Today, you're upwards of 19 to 25,000 just to get rolling with a single dumpster and a trailer. But if you have that truck already, you're making that payment on that truck already, or you're a landscaper looking to get into this business and you're using that truck to tow your mowing trailer, the roll-off dumpster trailer can really be the best bang for your buck to dip your toes in before you go and drop close to six figures. Most of them new are six figures on these bigger Hooklift or roll-off trucks. So pro number one of the trailers is going to be cost. Now let's move on to pro number two. So pro number two, from what I can find, is going to be versatility when you start off with a roll-off trailer. When I say versatility, guys, the Hooklift truck and the roll-off trailer with dumpsters are both going to be able to do junk removal. They're both going to be able to do mulch and stone deliveries, and they're both going to be able to, of course, be rented out on the weekends to your customers, whether you're doing it with a Hooklift truck or roll-off trailer. The big thing with the trailer and why this is a pro is that if your truck were to go down, anything with a 2 5/16 ball, to my knowledge, 99% of these trailers are 2 5/16 balls. You could hook up any truck that has that hitch and enough power to tow this trailer and go on with your day. So whether it's a family member's truck, a friend's truck, if you had to rent a truck, I think some rental companies rent them. And just to get you through, you could technically get through a bad scenario pretty easily with a roll-off trailer and be up and moving the same day, if not the next day. Pro number three, guys, and the third pro that the final pro that we are gonna talk about on the trailer setup today is going to be maintenance. Now, some of you may question this and say, well, Heath, didn't you go to a Hooklift truck to do less maintenance on it, to not pop so many tires and not? Yes, you're right, we did. But if you are a beginner and you're new to the roll-off dumpster rental game or the business game in general, the trailer model is pretty simple. If you go electric over hydraulic, it's a very simple setup, very easy to work on if you need to. You can pop tires on and off with a simple jack. You're not lifting up a very heavy truck, so if you pop a tire on the side of the road, keep a jack in the back of your pickup truck, you're off to the races. Even your pickup truck, you can jack up easily with a normal 3-ton jack. So from a maintenance standpoint, although the maintenance may be more common and you may be doing it more often on the trailer setup, if you're just getting started, it is, I want to say, cheaper to do the maintenance when it does need to be done. You may just have to do maintenance more often on a trailer. So we're gonna put maintenance in the pro category for the beginners. If you guys are been in this business a long time and you're looking at getting into the hook lift and you're used to popping tires and you're used to trailer wheel bearings and that kind of thing going after so many months, then maybe you'd actually put this in the con category. But for sake of this video, we're gonna put maintenance at a lower, easier skill level and cost to go as a pro on the trailer. Now we're going to get into some cons of using a roll-off trailer for a dumpster rental junk removal business. So now that we're on to the cons, guys, we got con number 1 up here, and it says learning curve. This means that for any of you guys that haven't ever backed up a trailer before, this is going to be a big learning curve, especially to get this dumpster to load properly. The dumpster rails, at least on the trailer I had a PJ Rollster. Some of the standard rail trailers where I think the rails are more in the middle, like our Hooklift dumpsters, could be easier, but backing the trailer into a driveway, A, unloading the dumpster, B, reloading the dumpster and backing into the driveway again to line up to the dumpster, all takes learning and practice to build the skills necessary to do it on a regular basis safely and comfortably. So we're going to put that in the cons column, because if you guys are looking to scale up your business, say you're an owner operator right now, or you're a part-timer right now, not going full-time, but you want to get a guy in the truck so you can either get a second truck or get out of the truck and just manage the phones, it is going to be harder to teach somebody to run a truck and trailer setup, especially in big cities. Rural areas aren't so bad, like where we live, it's not so bad, but I couldn't imagine unloading some of these dumpsters that we used to do with a trailer in an actual city or a more urban environment. So con number 1, learning curve. Let's move on to con number 2. Con number 2, guys, that we're going to talk about, I wrote down options or slash dumpsters. That being said, the options of what dumpster sizes you can offer, as well as what dumpster sizes you can buy. Now you can always get them to be custom manufactured. I don't know what the minimum order is going to be if you guys do that, but I think people are still doing that, probably more now than when I started. But depending on what trailer you get, some trailers only take certain dumpsters, and then even the standard rail trailers are only going to be able to take certain size dumpsters, to my knowledge. With my hook lift, I could do anything. I could do a 6-yard, 8-yard, 10-yard, 15-yard. I could do a 20-yard on the F600. I really wouldn't recommend doing it, but say I had a Kenworth or a Peterbilt, next class size up, 26,000 GVWR truck, you can run anything from a 6-yard all the way up to a 20-yard all day, no problems. Very easy to source them. Multiple people are selling them all over the country. Buying them used is easier as well. And that's where we're going to put that as con number 2, is you are a little more limited in the, and I think that's going to change if the industry keeps going the way it is and people keep buying these trailers and more manufacturers better these trailers. It's probably going to be an industry standard that the only people that are going to buy trailers are the ones that know that these standard rail dumpsters are going to work on a roll off down the road, or they're going to work on a hook lift down the road. But I ran into this con, or this problem I should say, which is why I say it's a con, when I bought my PJ Rollster, and I heard about this with other brands back a couple years ago, even last year. But like I said, this could be a temporary con, but it definitely was a problem for me. So if you guys are looking into that, just be aware of that and ask your trailer representative, your sales rep, about what options you have for sizes and what dumpsters you're going to be able to buy for that trailer. Con number 3, guys, is going to be longevity. Now, excuse my spelling, I'm just a trash guy. I mean, this spelling, hopefully it's right, it could be wrong, but you guys can laugh at me. Longevity of a trailer. This is gonna be, I just actually had a coaching call with Jessen out in Kentucky. Shout out to you, Jessen. This was one of the big things we were talking about towards the end of his call yesterday, was the longevity of a trailer is going to come down to what you expect out of it. If you are going to do this on the side, say you're a landscaper, you're a roofer, and you're going to buy one of these trailers to service, a couple of your job sites a week, and then you might rent 2 or 3 dumpsters on the weekend, and you're going to do that 40 weeks out of the year. Say you're going to try to do 100 rentals, maybe 100, 150 rentals. I would say a trailer is going to be okay for you. But if you're going to try to go do, I would say 250 to 400 rentals, kind of the scale we're trying to do now, and you're going to make it a legitimate either side business to your actual business or a full-time business where you're renting 500 dumpsters a year, 600 dumpsters a year, the trailer setup, in my opinion, is not going to last as long as a truck's going to last, and it's eventually, the trailer cost is eventually going to catch up to the truck replacement cost when these trailers are constantly going to be breaking down, and you can't expect too much out of them, especially the electric over hydraulic ones. The hydraulic gas powered trailers that they make out there, definitely, I think Cam Concepts might make one, Netherlands might have one, I'm not 100% sure, but those ones are going to be a little more heavy duty than your basic electric over hydraulic, which is what I had, where the electric over hydraulic is like the base, and then you have the gas powered ones, then you have the Hooklift style hydraulic trailers, then you go after that obviously to the truck setup. The longevity though, depending on what you guys want to do, is definitely going to be a con on the trailer side. Granted, the cost is a lot less initially, but it's going to catch up to you as you scale your business. When you want to have 3, 4, 5 trucks going and you're doing 500 to 1,000 dumpsters a year, I would not recommend buying a trailer in that scenario if you're trying to do that in year 1, 2, 3. You know, you're going to grow out of the trailer really fast, and you're better off to go with the Hooklift or the roll-off truck from the get-go. Now, with all that being said, guys, we're going to hop over into some pros of buying a truck and then some cons of buying a Hooklift or roll-off truck right out of the gate. So pro number 1, guys, we have it in big letters right up here, is easy. I cannot explain how much easier a Hooklift truck is. I can't speak for a roll-off truck because I've never driven one, but I can only assume that when you've driven a trailer around, whether you're a hotshot trucker, you pull horse trailers, or you're doing roll-off dumpsters already and you just want to get into a truck combo like we did, the ease of use is almost unfair compared to a trailer setup. We know, no exaggeration, save at least 10 to 20 minutes in the entirety of a rental every single time we do a dumpster, especially when you pair it with a automatic tarping system. It's night and day. You tarp it from inside of the truck, you're loading it from inside the truck. The only reason you should get out of the truck with a Hooklift is to put boards down to save a driveway or open the back door to dump it. Unless you got stickers, you know, coming out and you got to hit it with your Sawzall to make sure the load's down, it is so easy to load and unload dumpsters with a Hooklift. The other nice thing that I like about it is we do have a small city here, and when we are doing junk removal, if we need to throw the dumpster on the ground real quick in a tight area, it takes way less space to unload a Hooklift dumpster, or probably a roll-off dumpster too, but definitely a Hooklift dumpster compared to the cable setup trailer. You need way less square footage, if you will, and it doesn't roll out so far, and you can put it on the ground, open it up, say you're gonna clean out a garage real quick for somebody. The whole process is just way cleaner and way easier, and I'm speaking from experience. Let me know if you guys don't believe that, if you think the trailer's easier to use than a Hooklift truck. I'd like to hear about it, but definitely from my experience, the Hooklift truck is night and day difference easier than a roll-off trailer. So pro number 2, guys, and I put the word quality here because I think this goes for any Hooklift. Now you're obviously going to have lemons and stuff like that, but the way that a Hooklift body or a roll-off body is built, it's built for the industry. A trailer, whether it's got roll-off rails on it or a Hooklift, is still a trailer with little axles and little wheels underneath it. The quality, be it that the price is more, and we'll get into that, the quality of a body that's built for taking dumpsters or bodies itself on and off is a huge pro of a Hooklift. Now again, you get what you pay for, but just from looking at forums and watching other people out there just in the industry, you guys could buy one Hooklift body. If you grease it, if you maintain it, if it's not full of salt and you never wash it in the winter time, you should be able to buy one Hooklift body and at least go through 3 to 4 chassis, depending on how many miles you put on a year. But there's a local guy, a local contractor. He's the only one that I know with a Hooklift near me. Everybody else runs cable trucks. He's put 3 chassis with our Northeast salty winters. He's done 3 chassis through the same. He's got a Palfinger. I have a swap loader, but they're both small Hooklifts on little under CDL trucks. And he's put that one body, he's taken it off and put it on 3 different chassis, and he normally trades his trucks around 50 to 60,000 miles. So that being said, guys, the body itself is high quality, and I think that's going to go, like I said, with the right maintenance through anything. So if you guys are looking to spend the money up front and have one piece of equipment that's going to be able to keep getting put on the new chassis, in my opinion, the Hooklift and probably the roll-off too would be a big pro to you guys out there looking to spend it up front and then save it on the back end. Let's get into pro number 3. So pro number 3, guys, is going to be resale. Now, the reason I didn't talk about this at all on the trailer side, because I think if you buy a roll-off trailer and don't beat the living crap out of it, it's gonna hold value decent, kind of like a used car. But there's something about used hook lifts, especially ones that are taken care of. They're like gold. They're almost like under CDL compactor trucks. It seems like whether they got 10,000 miles on it or 70,000 miles on it, it's worth the same amount. It's crazy to me. I haven't figured out why yet, but it just seems like these little trucks, once you build them and work them, there's always a market for them. Whether you're a landscaper, whether you're a mason, obviously the dumpster rental business, anything like that, seems like people are always using hook lifts, municipalities and everybody. They're using hook lifts or roll-off trucks way more than they're using trailers, which gives you a much bigger resale pool, in turn giving that equipment a better value holding capability over a trailer. So pro number 3, guys, here, and trade in too. Good luck trading in a roll-off trailer and getting any money for it. But if you go to trade in a Hooklift truck or the chassis itself off the Hooklift truck, they can take that chassis and it can turn it into a bread truck. They can turn it into a dump truck, whatever they want to do, and you can keep the Hooklift body. So resale, definitely a huge pro. Now let's hop into the cons, the 3 big cons of the Hooklift or roll-off truck. So as probably most of you guys assumed, if we have cost as the first pro over here, cost is going to be the first con over on this side. Now that, I don't want cost to scare you away from value. Cost is strictly a numbers game. If you are going to build a Hooklift truck, if you're going to build anything as small as an F450, F550, you're going to be right around $100,000. To have a tarping system, if you want it to be diesel, you're going to be just north of 100 grand with a tarping system. No tarping system, I've seen them out there on some of the commercial truck pages that they're going for like 95, 96,000, but that's before taxes, and that truck, good luck if it's in stock. So we're gonna put a 6-figure price point minimum to go brand new, and you're probably gonna be 50 grand or better to get into a used unit that, pray to goodness, it's got some sort of warranty on it or something. If it's just a taillight warranty, you're still spending 50, 60 grand. That's a ton of money to jump into the business if you don't know anything about it. But for sake of this video, 6-figure cost to get rolling on a Hooklift truck. That's before you even buy one dumpster. That is just the chassis, the body, the install, and the tarp kit. Is going to be right around 100,000. So I 100% think the value is there once you have the business. I definitely think that's pretty scary to bite off if you've never rented a dumpster or never done junk removal in your life. So that's why I'm going to put that in the cons column. But again, if you guys have been doing this for a while, from a value standpoint, these things definitely pay for themselves once you start getting them up and rolling. But for sake of this video, cost, unfortunately, is going to definitely fall into that con category. Let's hop into con number 2. So con number 2, guys, that we're going to talk about is going to be maintenance. Definitely not saying these things require more maintenance. I'm going to do this from a skill perspective. I'm making this whole video about you not knowing anything about either one of these units and you're trying to decide what to buy. From a level of skill, also from an interval standpoint, there is more moving parts on the Hooklift. Granted, it is way more heavy duty than a trailer. You're definitely going to want to have a maintenance schedule that is a little more in depth, which is going to include grease. It's going to include hydraulic filters. You're going to want to maybe change out your hydraulic oil in the fall if it gets very, very cold, if you're going to run this thing in the winter, just so it's easier on the system and the system runs a little faster in the winter. The pumps are bigger, the cylinders are bigger. You can have leaky cylinders. There's more cylinders than what's on a trailer, more electronics going on. You know, the truck is going to require an oil change, which obviously the truck is going to require an oil change to pull the trailer, but the trailer itself is not tied to the truck. You could, like we said, in theory, get a different truck if your truck broke down. when you're here, you want to have a good maintenance schedule. Maintenance is everything. We just did a maintenance video a few videos back. If you guys want to check that one out, that was on our Ram compactor. We talked a little bit about the maintenance schedule there. But when you're biting off a $50,000, $60,000 used truck, you're definitely going to want to have 5 figures put aside, 10 grand minimum put aside for that rainy day fund. And if you got a brand new truck and you're making a payment on it, you're going to want to make sure you're trying to keep that thing in as tip-top shape as possible. It might be under warranty, but that doesn't mean you couldn't lose revenue if that truck goes down, just like ours did with the fuel pump at 5,000 miles. So maintenance, guys, it's just more, like I said, a little more skilled maintenance, especially if it's a used truck. And then you're going to want to make sure your maintenance schedule is on point, because this is a much more expensive vehicle. And if you're having employees do it, you really want to have a procedure to make sure that maintenance is done in check. Let's jump into our third and final con of the Hooklift truck. At least for the making of this video, guys, we're making this in July of 2022. Lead time, I would say, has to be one of the cons for the Hooklift truck. There's really not that many other cons. Naturally, we know the cost is going to be higher. The maintenance schedule is going to be stricter, and you're going to want to have your people on that unless you're doing it yourself. You want to be on it and research what your truck needs. But lead time and commitment, guys, if you're out there, at a dealer, it's not really that hard. At least it wasn't for me, and it probably isn't that hard now for you to drive cross country and pick up a trailer with a dumpster or a couple bins, strap them together, drive them home, probably within a week. If you've got the money or you can get the financing, you can probably do that. To try to find a Hooklift truck, if you go used, there's always going to be used ones out there, and the pricing, like I said, is still going to be high. But to get a new Hooklift truck, there are not usually new unspoken for Hooklift trucks ready to go. Even a Hooklift body, if we wouldn't have done the body ourselves here, the body was in stock, the truck was in stock, everything except the tarp kit was in stock, and the tarp kit was only 2 weeks out at the time. If we would have had it done where I bought the Hooklift, it was 2 months out to get it installed. So just know that if you are, and that's normal right now, it's probably worse than that right now. It's probably 4 to 6 months. I don't plan on buying a truck right now, so I haven't really checked it since I bought this truck last November, my Hooklift truck. But the lead times and commitments when you're going brand new on a truck like this, just be ready. Don't be shocked if the guy says, okay, yep, you want to put this truck order in, it's going to be 8 to 12 months. Could be 12 months to 16 months because of how bad things are right now with lead times and supply chain. But again, that could all go away and trucks could be ready to rock and roll within 6 to 8 weeks by the time you watch this video. But the making of this video, lead times are horrible. It's a big commitment, especially they make you sign, they make you put some money down. I was very fortunate. I found the truck in Ohio. I found the Hooklift in Pennsylvania. I got the tarp kit out of Georgia. It all got brought to one location where I am, and we put it on ourselves with a certified shop that works on excavators and big machinery all the time. So in that regard, I had to be very resourceful. If you guys can do the same thing, probably no problem. But if you're going to try to find a turnkey truck at your local dealer, probably not going to happen. So just know that when you're going out looking for a roll-off or Hooklift truck in the brand new market. I hope this video is very helpful for you guys. As always, we really appreciate you watching the channel. We do have some exciting news. I'm trying to bring Trash Talk back, guys. I don't know if we can do it every Tuesday. I'm really looking for people that want to be interviewed within driving distance of our location. If you would like to be on the channel and tell your story, and we want to do Trash Talk Tuesdays, hopefully starting in the next few weeks here. If I can get some of you guys interviewed, if you're within driving distance or you drive and see us within driving distance of where we are in upstate New York, if you're in Vermont, if you're in New Hampshire, if you're in southern New York, we'd really like to tell some of your guys' stories of how you got started in the junk removal or dumpster rental business or the garbage business. So if you or anyone you guys know think you'd be a good fit for telling your story on the channel, please send me an email. The email link will be right in this description down on the bottom. And as always, guys, I hope this video helped you. Take it with a grain of salt because we're in crazy times right now, but keep your guys' heads up. Use this if you can. If not, happy selling on those dumpster rentals and those junk removal jobs, and we'll see you guys all next time.